Merry meet and welcome to our stream, everybody. This is Ariel Gatoga, and we are streaming a general reading for all signs live on YouTube and on Twitch. Moderating today on YouTube is the lovely Heather, and moderating on Twitch is the lovely Diane. Thank you so much, moderators, and thanks to everybody for joining us today for this general reading. I don't have the box for this anymore because it's such an old deck, but I'm reading with that old Swiss deck that used to be so popular back in the 60s and 70s. I am purifying with this Verbena by Cosmo Mozzi. They've changed the packaging and the formulation, but it's still really beautiful. You can find out more information about how to get your version of your own of each of these products. Can I talk today? You can find out how to get your own of each of these products in the video description of my this very video on my YouTube channel. This is going to be a great reading, I can just tell already. Like I said, this is a general reading for all signs for today, March the 2nd, 2023. It's going out to everybody, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching on a restream. It does go out to a lot of people. So if for some reason it doesn't seem to apply to you personally, just disregard it because it may not be meant for you. In that case, check out the zodiacal readings for your own individual sun sign, rising sign, and or moon sign, all of which are available on my YouTube channel for restream. I don't read with card reversals, so you will see me flipping cards right side up. Don't worry about that. It's just my style of reading. I know a lot of people aren't used to it, but it works great for me. If you'd like to give a donation to this channel, you can do that by going to paypal.me/ArielGatoga. paypal.me/ArielGatoga. We don't yet have super stickers or super chats available on this channel because it's so new. We need about 4,000 watch hours before they'll give us those. So in the meantime, if you feel like giving a donation to us, paypal.me/ArielGatoga is the way to go. We have a shop at arielscornershop.com. We have all kinds of beautiful merchandise, including tarot decks for sale. We make a small commission off of each and every sale, and we do appreciate your support. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. If you're watching us on Twitch, make sure you follow us. And you can watch all of our videos on Twitch without any ads simply by subscribing to us there. Okay, I think we are doing great with the shuffling here, but I want to do a few more just to make sure. I haven't read with this deck in so long, so randomize. I forgot all about it because it's not in a regular box. It's in this box here. So I forgot that there was a deck in there, and I just thought it was maybe, I don't know, jewelry or something. So glad I found it. I feel like reading with it. I hope you enjoy this deck as much as I do. This is based on the Besançon region in Switzerland, on the Swiss border between France and Switzerland. All right. Anyway, we have the Ace of Swords, we have the Six of Swords, and we have the Six of Wands. 60. I love a 60 day. It's so 60. You 60 devil, you. The sixes are all about that solar light. It's the power that just carries us. It does for us what we can't do for ourselves. Remember that no spiritual power comes in uninvited, though. So you have to ask for it. You have to invite it, but it's sitting there at the ready, waiting, saying, "Hey, we're here. It looks like you've already overcome a lot of stuff in your past. And a lot of that is by your own efforts. And the sixes here are saying, we can help take you a lot farther than what you can do for yourself right now. So let us help. So what the solar light is, that's what these sixes represent. What that solar light is, that vibration, that energy, that force that emanates, that light that emanates right from sphere number 6 on the tree of life. That is represented by our sun. So think about the sun. It's always good to think about these things, just take a second, and internalize, well, what is the sun? It's not only the center of the solar system. It's not only a way that some people get tan. It's not only something that we like to be out so we can go swimming or go to the beach or whatever. The sun is essential to our being. It is the source of our solar system. If the sun decided to not shine anymore, we'd be out of luck. So what we want to do is call on that solar light to help us. It does all the things for us that we aren't capable of doing for ourselves. So there might be problems in your life that you think, I don't know what to do about this. I just feel so outmatched by this. You may be, but it's not, the solar light is never outmatched. Why? Because the solar light is an organizing force. It brings an organization that is in line with the divine design. Think of the organization that the sun brings to our solar system. It sets the planets in course around itself, right? So it is the divine order. It is the divine design. And so that's what that represents for you. That same force that brings order to the solar system can bring order to your life. Divine order. Now, the divine design means everything that makes you happy, everything that brings you joy, everything that brings you peace. So a lot of us are struggling to find peace, struggling to find joy. And so many of us and so many of you have really succeeded in overcoming so many obstacles to your joy, so many obstacles to your success, so many obstacles to your peace. And the solar light is saying, it's more than just overcoming obstacles, right? We can actually lift you up and into where your soul is already successful. Into what, if you think about your soul as decided to come into this life to get some stuff done, to get some specific work done, and that work always brings joy, that work always brings light, that work always brings everything good to not only your life, but to everybody's life that you touch. And our ego likes to try to thwart our soul's journey. Well, when we call on that solar light, that kind of lifts us out of that ego fog and into that divine design. And it's amazing how much joy we can experience that we didn't even know was possible. And that's for you today. This is in regards to overcoming those conflicts and obstacles, as well as your work in the world specifically today. That's what these two sixes are all about. Your work in the world, which is the wands, and you're overcoming the conflict and obstacles, which is the swords. Amazing, isn't it? Now look at this. You have two aces. You have the ace of swords and that gorgeous ace of wands. You have a 10 of cups, which is absolute joy. And then you've got this beautiful knight of coins, which is help. So help is here ready for you. And that help, that solar light will bring that help, will bring that joy. And it oftentimes that help comes through people. It comes sometimes through the most unexpected people. You work with the solar light and you say, I'm inviting you. And the solar light, says, yeah, okay, I'm going to bring you help. And then the person shows up and you're like, them? But don't question it, because a lot of times the most, I'll be in a situation where I ask for help, I need help, and this person shows up in my life and I'm like, well, how are they going to help me? And I just have to go with it. I have to trust that the universe knows what it's doing. And sure enough, I was wrong. I was wrong about that person. That person is exactly who I needed at that time. And so don't question, don't judge the help that comes your way today, because they are exactly who you need or what you need. And sometimes it's not people. Sometimes it's impulses that you get. Sometimes it's divine impulses. And you can tell whether that impulse is from the solar light or from your ego based on how much peace it brings you, based on how much joy it brings you. The ego, it's some kind of fear. There's always some sort of fear if it comes from the ego. It's like, oh, I better do this. Whereas from spirit, it's always some sort of inspiration, like, oh, isn't this beautiful? Wouldn't you love this? Doesn't this sound like a wonderful idea? Very, very different energy. And that joyous energy from that solar light is everywhere today, but you must accept it. You must receive it. Let's talk about these gorgeous 3 cards here. First of all, this is one of my very, very favorite cards because it is so... Remember that the wands oftentimes are thought of as being the first suit. That's why they're oftentimes people will correspond them with the element of fire, because it's the first element. So what that means is that your work in the world, which is what the wands represent, is the closest thing to your soul's journey that there is. So if you are in alignment with your soul, with that solar light and with your soul, then all of your work not only brings you joy and prosperity, but it also is used by Spirit to bring healing to everyone you touch. And so many people, you won't realize who you're healing, because it's like a ripple effect. You touch one person, and then they bring that blessing to another person, and sometimes unbeknownst to them, sort of like the opposite of a virus. Like you touch someone and they get the flu, and then they touch someone and they get the flu, and everybody's got the flu before they've even got symptoms. Well, that can work on a positive level too, because your joy touches somebody else, which touches somebody else, which touches somebody else, and brings all this healing. Spirit working through you to bring all this healing to all these people you don't even know. You have no clue how many people you have blessed. And that is what is happening as you say yes to this, as you say yes to this spiritual force. Now, this 10 of Cups is talking about that happily ever after. It's so important to live happily ever after. Make a commitment to live happily ever after. That's a choice that we make. Happily ever after is a choice we make. When we live happily ever after, it's not because it's being done to us. It's because we're choosing that for ourselves. And that's the value of reading fairy tales, because that's where happily ever after comes. Sometimes you hear about happily ever after in the Psalms too, but that's pretty much the only places you read about happily ever after. So happily ever after is our goal. How do you become happily ever after? By staying in the present moment, because ever after means eternity. Eternity doesn't just mean a long time. Eternity doesn't mean many, 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 many years or eons in linear time. Eternity means now. That's what eternity means. So if you're happy now, you are happy in eternity. And if you continue to come back to now, that happiness is consistent. It is self-perpetuating. It is constant. And that joy and that happiness is the universe's gift to you. And sometimes that happiness and that joy gets obscured, but today it's not getting obscured. Today is the day where you really get to open up to it. You really get to open up to that joy and make some choices today that this is how I want to live my life. Now, knowing full well that in this world there are going to be days where the clouds cover the sun. In this world there are days where there are storms, there are wars, there are fights, there are awful things that happen in the world, but you're understanding that your happily ever after cannot be touched by those things, because you're choosing to work with that power, that higher power. You're choosing to stay in the moment. You're choosing to accept joy as your natural state, right? And that is everything. So accept the help as it comes today. Recognize that all of the things that you've been doing, all of your efforts have brought you great victory, and now let's bring it up several notches by calling in that solar light and allowing us to be lifted. If you don't know how to work with the solar light, you can use one of my solar light meditations. I have 2 of them. It's a very simple, easy to learn process. You won't need one of my meditations after listening to it once or twice. And you can just do it, excuse yourself to go to the restroom, a couple times a day if you want to, and run that solar light. And that will keep you nice and attuned to that energy, which is so prevalent in your life today, which is bringing great joy, not only to you, but to everyone you touch. Get to work. Today's a beautiful day. I am so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. I will be back with another general reading tomorrow, and thank you so much to the amazing moderator team from today. That is Heather and Diane, and we will see everybody for another reading tomorrow. Blessed be.